Mean Sussex bowling restricts Durham on day one. Durham suffered a chastening loss in round one at Derbyshire, with their first opponents at Chester Street this season, Sussex, suffering a similar fate at home to Leicestershire. Both teams started the second round of matches on 3 points, with a need to produce some more encouraging form. Sussex elected to field in an uncontested toss, and both Lees and Steele were immediately in the thrall of some tight, measured bowling from the openers Hamza and Robinson. It was the latter who struck first, bowling Steele for just 3. The wicket came in the 9th over, the score 8 for 1, giving you some idea of just how tight the bowlers had been. Lees finally struck the first boundary of the match in the following over off the bowling of Visa. Mir Hamza was brought back into the attack and he made the breakthrough with the final ball of the over, bowling Lees for 12. Bancroft was joined by Hart, and they managed to battle through to lunch, with the occasional boundary alleviating the strain. 56 for 2 the score at the interval, as the visiting bowlers successfully kept Durham's runs down in the morning. And with just 7 runs added in as many overs, a third wicket fell. Hart, the man out, clean bowled for 18, 70 balls faced by the number 4, and just 1 boundary in that time. Burnham, the new man in, experienced little change, and he became Robinson's third victim to a 10-ball duck when he was trapped LBW, making the score 63 for 4. Eckersley and Bancroft managed to pick up the occasional boundary as the overs ticked over towards tea, but after fighting so hard for so long, Bancroft eventually succumbed, with Durham 3 shy of the 100. The Australian caught by Jordan off Visa for 33. Travaskis came in and didn't have to wait long for his first boundary, and along with Eckersley they managed to make it through to tea, the score 113 for 5. Sussex had been the dominant force heading into the final session, but Travaskis and Eckersley started to build patiently in the evening session, and they were rewarded as they slowly formed the base for a genuine partnership. They moved to a 50 partnership as the total went to 150 in the process. The pair continued to pick up boundaries as they both closed in on their 50s and the 100 stand. However, it all came to a bitter end, 7 runs shy, when Chris Jordan had Eckersley caught behind for 40. Travaskis was joined by rain, and the number 8 batsman kept him good company as he moved to 50. However, shortly after reaching his half-century, Travaskis was bowled by Jordan, and the very next ball, Whale followed him back to the pavilion, trapped LBW for a golden duck. Rain and Salisbury saw play through to the close, including seeing off the hat-trick delivery from Jordan. The score though, 210 for 8 at stumps, 1 batting point in the bag for Durham, whilst Sussex already have 2 bowling points and will be confident of picking up the third early on the second morning. Rushworth takes 4 as Durham hold a slender edge over Sussex. A late blitz from the Sussex bowlers at the tail end of day 1 at Durham had reduced the home team to 210 for 8, so the start of day 2 was of equal importance to both of these sides as they looked to reverse their form from the opening round of matches in the Championship. Any hopes that Durham had of hanging around for any length of time on the second morning were quickly scuppered as Van Zyl caught rain off Visa for 16. And Ollie Robinson wrapped up the innings shortly afterwards with his 4th of the innings, trapping Rushworth plumb LBW for 3 to bring Durham's innings to a close on 224. A disappointing total for the home side, but they always say don't judge a pitch until both teams have batted on it, and that indeed proved the case at Chester Street, as Sussex immediately found themselves in trouble as Salt caught an outside edge off Rushworth to fall for 3, Lees with the catch. The second wicket fell when Haynes was out caught by Bancroft off Rain for 22, bringing Van Zyl out to join Luke Wells at the crease. 38 for 2 became 39 for 3 as Van Zyl found Bancroft in the slips, this time off the bowling of Whale. And the 4th went down in Whale's next over when he bowled Evans for 10. Whale kept it tight to Newman Brown and trapped him LBW for a 6-ball duck, leaving Sussex reeling on 49 for 5. They were mightily relieved to reach the lunch break without losing any further wickets. Wells unbeaten on 13, the score 62 for 5. Sussex returned after the interval but added just 5 to the total before their 6th wicket was down, Rushworth bowling Burgess for 9. And the visitors were then 71 for 7 when Zyl was bowled by Rushworth for 1. Chris Jordan joined Wells, 153 runs still separating the sides, and the duo knuckled down to forge a partnership. They took the score past 100 and then moved up towards a 50 partnership. However, 2 runs shy of that goal, there was a mix-up in the middle and Jordan was run out for 25. Wells was joined by Robinson, and the former made it to a defiant 50 as Sussex whittled away Durham's lead. It was a 32nd first-class half-century from Wells, this one a real slog off 122 balls and containing just the 1 boundary. Robinson and Wells put on 40 for the 9th wicket before the number 10 was bowled by Salisbury for 14. With just Mir Hamza for company, Wells decided to dominate the strike, and he pressed the throttle. A series of boundaries guided Sussex through to the tea interval, now just 29 runs behind Durham on 195 for 9, Wells 92 not out. In the evening session, Sussex successfully passed 200 to pick up a batting bonus point, but there was to be no dream century for Wells as he was left stranded on 98 when Hamza was bowled by Rushworth for 8. 202 all out for Sussex, so a slender 22-run lead for Durham and a tricky period to negotiate for their openers before the close. And tricky it proved to be, as Steele fell to the 5th ball of the innings, Ollie Robinson taking his season's tally past 10 in the process as he trapped the opener LBW. To the relief of the home fans, there were no more hiccups before close. Lees and Bancroft both 14 not out overnight. Durham 31 for 1 with a useful lead of 53 runs heading into day 3. Zyl takes 5 as Sussex push for victory. Everything was in the balance at Chester Street going into the 3rd day, with Durham leading Sussex by just over 50 runs with 9 of their second innings wickets intact. Steele was the only batsman to have fallen, so Lees and Bancroft resumed on 31 for 1. It didn't take long for Sussex to make the breakthrough, as Lees was caught behind off Zyl off just the 3rd ball of the day. Very tight bowling from the visiting attack restricted scoring chances for the Durham batsmen, although Bancroft did strike the occasional boundary. 30 were added to the total before Bancroft flashed at one off Mir Hamza, Brown with the catch to get rid of the home skipper for 22. Burnham followed 4 overs later, bowled by Hamza for 5. That brought Eckersley together with Hart, and the pair took the lead past 100. However, with the partnership at 35, Eckersley was caught by Evans off Haynes, putting Durham 5 down with a lead of 127. Travaskis was out in the next over, Durham's top scorer in the first innings, caught by Brown off Zyl for a duck. Rain lasted just 2 balls, going the same way as Travaskis. Caught Brown, bowled Zyl, leaving Durham 106 for 7. Hart and Whale managed to see play through to the lunch interval, 112 for 7 the score, but the morning had belonged almost exclusively to the Sussex seamers. After the break, the Durham pair continued to build their partnership, but as the total went to 150, Zyl struck for a 4th time. Whale caught by Salt for 24, Durham 8 down. Salisbury then fell, giving Zyl his 5th of the innings, Jordan with the catch as the number 10 fell for just 1. Hart was running out of partners, but he did manage to complete his 50 and then press on as Durham hoped for as big a lead as possible to bowl at. Several crushing blows from Hart took him to 74 and edged Durham up to 189, but he ran out of partners when Rushworth was bowled by Jordan. Durham 189 all out, leaving Sussex a target of 212. The teams emerged after an early tea and Durham grabbed an early breakthrough as Salt was caught by Whale off Rushworth for just 2 in the 3rd over. Rains then struck in his first over to remove Haynes to leave Sussex in trouble at 16 for 2. Wells got in on the act with a couple of 4s off Whale, before Van Zyl took Salisbury for another couple of boundaries in an over. Salisbury, however, had his revenge when he trapped Wells leg before wicket for 41. Van Zyl, though, remained to pass his 50 in partnership with Evans. and they were both still there at stumps as Sussex reached the close on 144 for 3, needing just a further 68 to win their second game in succession. Van Zyl guide Sussex home for their first win of the season. David Wiese's second innings 5-wicket haul put Sussex in with a shout of picking up victory at Chester Street. They started the final day with 68 runs needed to win, with 7 wickets remaining. Van Zyl and Evans at the crease. Van Zyl 66 not out, Evans unbeaten on 21, the partnership worth 45. Rain opened up for the hosts on the final morning and he was sent to the ropes by Evans on the 4th ball of the day, the Sussex pair bringing up their 50 partnership in the next over. With the target dipping under the 50-run mark, Van Zyl became aware that he was running out of time and runs to bring up his century, so he looked to push on. Evans too knew his chances of a 50 were in the balance, and he moved to 47 with boundaries off consecutive overs from Salisbury and Travaskis. And just a few balls later, Evans moved to his 17th first-class 50, with the 100 partnership also in the bag. Just 12 runs now needed for victory. Van Zyl coasted to his century, but with 1 run required for the win, their partnership was brought to an end as Evans fell LBW to Salisbury for 51. Ben Brown quickly popped his pads back on and went out to hit the winning run, giving Sussex victory by 6 wickets. Van Zyl finishing 101 not out, his 26th first-class ton. So, 20 points for Sussex, 4 for Durham, who were winless after the opening 2 rounds and have just 7 points to show for their effort so far.